Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, it's your boy Swag Switcher in the building, and we are here with another episode of the Big Brothers of Destruction. Now, this one's a little special because our boy the Mazaku is out in Chicago, and that I do believe that's good old CM Punk country area right now.
Mhm.
But he's out handling some business, very similarly to when I was out in Texas handling some things and doing some shows and all that good stuff. Well, he'll be back soon. So in the meantime, I called an audible. I got one of the homies, and he is about to bless us with being our very first guest on the podcast. Now, before I introduce him, I've actually brought him up in a previous podcast before, and if you look into the background where he's sitting, you might remember exactly what I was talking about at that time. But let me just preface to him right now, and that's the fact that the first time you're a guest. Second time, you get your own stuff out of the kitchen and you can fix your plate whenever you're ready. Just putting that out there. And that's for anyone else who ends up being a guest first time on this podcast. But this is the homie, my boy, Lord Zay. Go ahead, I'll let you take the floor. Give a little introduction for yourself. 'Cause I know who you are.
I mean, yeah, we've known each other for a while. What up? What up? Is your favorite sad boy, aka the local competitor? I like that name, Q
Mm,
Wrestling. Ooh, good
okay.
replacement. Lord Zay, how y'all doing?
As I drop something on the ground here. And listen, when it comes to your boy Lord Zay, like something that I have come to understand and see and notice about him, especially when it comes to the wrestling, like I know I've been in wrestling and I know a lot of wrestling, but this man's knowledge on wrestling on certain things, he knows how to get down to such a minute detail. It's almost as if he went to school for it or something.
That's kind of wild. Yeah, I
Like,
never really noticed that, but yeah.
what was it? When we was in Texas last time, or this past other week, right? We were talking about wrestling amongst the group of nerdcore artists and everything, and someone had asked a question, and I was like, I knew the answer. And I gave the answer. And then you followed up with, yeah, swag's right. And then you put the fine details into it and like broke it down on an extra level that like one of those things where like I knew that, but like you was getting down to like day and almost time and seconds when it came to like how you was breaking it down to. I'm like, and I'm like, I know I'm knowledgeable. And I know, I'm pretty certain I know for a fact that the wrestling friends that we have, I almost feel as if like I'm like the grandfather to a certain degree because like it started with me, and then God bless his soul, our boy Cecil. It was
Mhm.
him, and then we just started bringing this family together and bringing everybody into the loop type thing. But there's a certain point where it's like, damn, my kids done grown up and got a little smart type thing. And I'm just like, gee, like where did they get all this knowledge from?
I always say, it's wild how much wrestling has helped my music career. It's insane, just because everybody's a wrestling fan. You just gotta
Listen,
you just gotta find out, like, everybody just waits for that moment, like, can I talk about this? And as soon as it gets brought up, it's just boom. And the
listen,
amount of like doors that has opened for me, and like, yeah, it's wild. So like, I guess I was joking about it at the barbecue when we had, what was it, 97 Raw on.
yes, early
And like,
97.
yeah, I was joking about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm just your wrestling encyclopedia. I just know way too much random shit for no fucking reason.
And it's funny because like you did bring up something that I was going to bring up later when it
Oh,
comes
my
to well, oh no, you're fine. That just if anything, that just means we're already locked in.
bad. Forget.
We already I know already know that all right, good. We got conversation. So I didn't even have to write these talking points really. But the main thing that I did want to do, mostly because we are in the beginning stages of this podcast, and I know me and LJ, Maz, we've been in this process of getting to a level of where just kind of getting the history out of where we've come from,
Mhm.
why we became such big wrestling fans, and how we got to the point that we're at right now. So we're still actually in the process of asking each other the big questions. And so I'm gonna throw a couple of those big questions at you here, just so it'll almost get the audience acclimated to who you are and kind of sort of where your head's at, especially considering the fact that today you're a guest, but the next time you're here, it's like you're just part of the show now. That's just how it's
Oh,
gonna
okay,
be.
that works.
So, and so
Appreciate that.
let's go ahead and start off for you. Because I think I know a little bit of it, but let's go ahead and get the full bit of it. But it's like, what is your wrestling origin story? How
All
did
right.
it start? What's the first
Uh,
memory, and how did we get here?
I got two. And it's wild because one is an iconic match, and the other one's a random Nitro moment. Um, I credit the first match I ever watched was Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Bad Blood in your house, Hell in a Cell, debut of Kane. That's the first match I remember watching. Uh, Great way to start. That's why HBK is my favorite wrestler of all time. And Undertaker is up there. Uh, will we separate Undertaker from Mark Calloway over here?
Fair enough.
Uh,
Listen, I, Glenn Jacobs, Kane, two different people. I get
I
it.
mean, I saw a tweet your boy Glenn Jacobs was bringing Kane into it. And I'm like, can we leave Kane alone? Anyways,
Listen.
we won't get political. We're just gonna skirt there. Gonna skirt that to the side. But the other one I randomly remember, and it's from 2 different years. I thought they were the same year, but 2 different years. Was Hulk Hogan. Can't remember who his tag team partner was, but they were facing Roddy Piper and the Giant on a bat on a pole match. Uh,
So
that's
the
the
Russo
other,
era ish, huh? That Russo
yeah,
shit.
around there. That's the other match I really remember, and I just remember Piper going on Giant shoulders and grabbing the bat down and hitting Hogan with it. So those are my wrestling origins. Attitude era. I remember bits and pieces. We were young. Uh, Definitely ruthless aggression era. I was all in. You can't really see it, but like I have a ring full of figures up there. From my time, I kept them all. I think I went all the way up to 2010 was when I stopped watching wrestling.
Hmm. A
Um,
very, very good time to stop.
yeah. Um, Whenever Miz was champion, that's when I stopped. Uh,
That's crazy because that's what it was. It got a little bit better, but then they dropped it. But
yeah. I mean,
fun
like
fact,
I
I
was.
was there for that show.
Were you really?
Yeah, it was that Raw because like
Oh,
Nexus came out there, it jumped Cena, but then he cashed in, and I remember losing my. I lost my shit for two reasons that night because I'm a big Nexus boy.
yeah.
At that particular show, I remember I bought the Nexus T-shirt, I bought the hat, and I even think I bought like the girlfriend that I was with at the time. I bought her something Nexus
Better
kind of
get
thing.
that back, man. We'll
W-
talk about that later, but those
w-
wrestling shirts, those
The
wrestling
crazy thing,
shirts worth some money.
the craziest thing is, 'cause I don't remember. The craziest thing is, he might still actually have it, which is wild. I'm sure if I ask her, she probably might, and she probably would let me have it because we're cool now.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Just hit
like,
her up. Like, hey, yo, I'm short of some cash. Can I get that Nexus shirt back?
but I remember like they came out and I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm holding the shirt on. I got the hat on and everything. I'm like, ah. And Heath Slater, he looked at me and he pointed at me. I was like, like it was me, my brother, and my mother. And I want to say my little nephew. My nephew was there at the time. He was little at that time. Is like my mom and my brother and my girl at the time, they both looked at me as like, he's pointing at, because I was the only guy in the
Yeah.
audience repping Nexus like this. Like, this is me and whatnot. He turns, he's like, I'm like, boy,
You're
couldn't
part of
tell
the
me
band.
nothing. You couldn't tell, couldn't tell me nothing that night, fam. Could not. But then they came out there and they jumped him, and Miz won that belt, and oh man, it was lit, very lit. Anytime Raw comes to Orlando, usually something big happens. But
Because it's home. It's home base.
exactly, and even way back then, before it became like the crew home base, because like Raw. Let me see here. When it comes to those events, so I was there for that. I was there when Evan Bourne, was it that one? I think when Evan Bourne got caught with that RKO,
Hmm.
I do believe
Oh,
that was
that
in
that infamous
Orlando.
one
That was in
in New England.
Orlando. And then when Undertaker chokeslammed American Badass Taker chokeslammed Kurt Angle off of off the Titantron,
Hmm.
that was my first Raw, and that was in Orlando at the PD Waterhouse. God
Wow.
rest its soul, because that place is no longer there. But yeah, so going back to for you though, so origin story, those are your two earliest wrestling memories. How
Yeah.
did you find wrestling?
Oh, we saw racist as hell. I'm Puerto Rican, bro. Everybody loves wrestling.
You know what? That that sums it up. But
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah.
was it like
Our
the
brother was into
family?
wrestling. Yeah,
Okay, so it was the
yeah,
brother.
yeah. My brother was into wrestling. He was into the '80s. Big Razor Ramon fan, which translated to me. I have a joke where if you are a Latino male from the age of, let's say, 25 to 45, you love Razor Ramon. That's that time period. You just love Razor Ramon.
Which is
Razor Ramon
crazy
Scott Hall,
because I do believe Scott Hall, if I remember correctly, he's
white.
white as snow. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a listen, for many of us, Razor was the first Latino representation that we had, which is wild because Pedro Morales was a champion in WWE, but we will
listen, he
recognize Razor before we recognize Pedro Morales.
like what's his name? That dang the other Puerto Rican wrestler from that time that was big.
Oh, Carly
Savio
Colon.
Vega.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Nah, we
See,
recognize.
see that told me everything I did. You're like, oh, is that? Yeah, nah, nah.
No, there was a whole faction Los Boricuas, so like we don't even remember. Like
But that Razor Ramon,
Razor Ramon,
that Chico,
he was one of us.
uh,
He was ambiguous enough to all Latinos where we all could claim him. He's like, oh yeah, Razor's Cuban. Nah, he's Puerto Rican. Nah, he's Dominican. No, Razor was what we wanted Razor to be.
that's actually a really interesting point, because yeah, because he had all of the features.
Yeah,
Oddly, like from the face, the hairy chest and
yeah,
everything, the slick black hair and all that. Like, he literally checked all the Latino boxes,
that too.
and even more so the fact that he was a white guy, and of course he's portraying this persona, so it's like he doesn't really know any Spanish.
Not a
He
lick.
never he would have some of the Spanish mannerisms. And it's funny because I've looked back and I'm all like, there's certain points where I'm like, why did we believe that so hard?
Razor Scott, I don't. It's just something about it. Where, like you look at it now, it's so racist. It's it's so. But we just let Razor slide because he was so cool. Which is like,
Yeah,
it's weirdly enough that we think about it, like the NWO. NWO was heavily inspired by hip hop culture. You can't tell me otherwise. Kevin Nash was big into hip hop, so was Razor. and it's just
Li-
funny that Hogan was a part of it.
Listen, put Kevin Nash into hip hop, fam. Have you? He is a strip club runner
Mhm.
and a FUBU rocker.
Mhm.
I'm sure he
Mhm.
was rocking Echo as what, fam. What was that? There was like there was actually a meme that I saw about it in a video that proceeded where it like showed just all like the heavy FUBU wear, rocking the button up big bold FUBU letters on the shirt, like.
Yeah, I think X Pac even said it. Like they got it a lot of from NWA for the NWO, and I was like,
Mm,
that's what's up. Like again, like the correlation. That's like one of my favorite things that doesn't get brought up enough about wrestling is how much hip hop influence is in wrestling, and it's wild that doesn't get acknowledged for what it is. Uh,
you right. But I feel right now
oh, I
it's
have a big like hot take later if you want to talk about it, but
mm, oh, let's park a lot down. Let's park a lot down because
Mhm.
once again, I there's a part where I wanted to bring up and speak on like music in WWE and wrestling in general, and especially for artists like us, how it has heavily influenced us when it comes to wrestling bars and all this other stuff. And so not because this has come up twice, now we definitely are going to touch back onto the music issue and how music and wrestling going together. But just to get a little more out of you, to getting to know you a bit, and you talking about Razor Ramon is kind of a good segue into this piece and
Mhm.
whatnot, because I find it interesting, and I've been seeing other people do it. I'm like, I when I thought about it, it was hard, but I figured it out. And so, for you, of all time, wrestling across the board from start to finish, what's your Mount Rushmore looking like?
Mount Rushmore. Top two easily is HBK and Eddie Guerrero. Those are my one and two. Uh, gotta give it to Austin because when I was a kid, Austin was my favorite. One of
Okay.
my small segue memory. Just random things I remember as a kid. My mom had bought me a rock backpack for school, and I was so upset that it wasn't Austin. My mom went and returned the rock backpack and got me the Stone Cold Steve Austin backpack. So like that's one of my favorite memories of that.
Listen,
So
mom is a real one.
Austin, oh yeah, she is. So Austin's up there. Now I never have a solid four because I always like depending on the day when you ask me, or interchange.
Okay.
Um, but just to keep it not all WWE, ECW RVD is probably up there right now as one of the biggest innovators in the game.
Mm,
Cause high flying and all that, he's one of the big, proponent of it. Like a lot of AEW can be traced back to that prime ECW run, and like, so I'm gonna give it to RVD.
that's
And
an
like,
observation.
yeah, I mean, a lot of like, like ECW always remember for like the New Jacks and like Sabu's of it all, but like RVD was out there doing stuff. Mike Awesome, Taz, like they were out there wrestling. And, like we forget, Rey Mysterio came from there, Eddie came from there before they went to WCW. So yeah,
Mm.
no, I'm gonna give it to RVD right now, just cause like he was one of the ones that was like cool about it.
I actually, literally bringing up RVD, I just got done watching a one of them Van Vliet little interviews
Hmm.
with RVD, and you making that comparison about like the style of ECW and doing that little comparison to AEW, he actually kind of brought that up a little bit in referring to himself, kind of thing, because I've on more than one occasion have kind of gone on my little bit of a rant when it comes to how I feel about the product that AEW is putting out and the way that they kind of do things and the the in the presentation of the way that they sell and don't sell, and there's there's a lot of things that I'm like, because I like AEW and I love watching it, but there are certain bits that I'm just all like, where it constantly like wants to take me out of it. The best
Yeah.
way I've described it is like AEW is like watching 2K15 play on PC versus PC mode,
Hmm.
where they're going to fight each other, they're going to beat each other down, and they might do their finisher on each other a couple of times, and they'll kick out. And though this shows their bodies are, the body damage is all red kind of thing, when they get back up, they're not selling that all red body damage
Right.
until they feel they need to. Like you could have, just got done being in like a painful sharpshooter and like the character almost tapped out, but then the person gets back up on his feet and then picks you up for a gorilla press. Real
I see
video
that.
game type ish. Not
I
selling the
mean,
fact that your legs and your back should be busted right now.
I mean, yeah. Like AEW. All right, we'll just go with the hot take right now. But I think like the main problem AEW has is AEW is not cool. And what I mean by that is AEW is for wrestling nerds. And I say that with all respect as somebody who is a wrestling nerd. I like AEW.
Hmm.
I like my I sometimes I like to see just dope move sets. Like I love an Osprey match, bro. Seeing Osprey in person, one of the dopest experiences ever. Like the energy that was there was really really cool. But the main thing I will always bring up, and I think back about Edge talking about it in his podcast, was the black audience and going back into hip hop.
Mm.
Edge once said, "Being over is cool, but once I realized I was over with the brothers, that was a whole nother level." And recently, I went to a NXT house show, and it was predominantly white audience. I was there, but they were doing the chants from the performance center there. Those chants from the performance center they are a strong black audience there, and those
Got it.
chants get over because they're cool, they're unique. The Obafemi, the Oofs, the Jada Parkers, like all of that, they're getting over because of that audience. And I've talked to Megaran about it. It's like AEW doesn't have that cool factor. They haven't really reached out to their black audience.
I see what you mean. I'm
Like
connecting. I connect the dots on that. Okay.
like you know what I'm saying? Like urban culture makes shit dope. It's always what it is. The reason why WWE is on fire is because even though they're testing the limits
Hmm.
of all this right wing stuff, but they're testing the limits. But you still have Randy Orton. You know, you still have
Exactly.
those people that we still love. Like Finn Balor's dope. You're gonna love Finn Balor. NXT, you got that crossover. I think that's what the separation is. And yeah, they're bringing in hip hop artists and stuff like that, which is cool. I don't know what it is, but AW needs to tap into it more because when Swerve got over, he got over like with hip hop.
We
The
got it.
best way to put yeah. Like I think that's my biggest hot take about AW. It's just like they wrestle for the audience they have, but they're not wrestling for the audience they should be able to get.
Okay. That's actually a good point. That's a good point and a good take. Though it's hot,
Yeah,
it's a hot take that I'm 100% there with you
yeah. I mean,
because
I enjoy AEW, bro. Like I pay money, I go to live shows.
hmm
We've done plenty of pay per view watches. I haven't bought a pay per view on my own because $50 in this economy, you crazy. But for some pay per view,
no, that checks. Trust
yeah,
me.
yeah. Yeah. But
Trust
like,
me, it checks.
going to a live AEW show is wild. Like the energy from that crowd is dope, but like they just don't have things that get people over forever.
Yeah. And then when they have and sometimes they kind of do the thing like when they kind of have something, it's like once they have it, they're like, it's like the kid who caught the football for the first time,
Yeah,
and now they're like, I don't know what to do next after that.
You're holding Danny Garcia in your hands right now. You know what I mean?
I love, like, let me put it this way, because Danny Garcia, like when I really started paying attention to him was when he was with that other guy and the dude was trying to make him stop dancing and
Yeah,
stuff like
Matt
that when they
Menard.
was
Yeah,
going through all of it. And I was like, that's when he first really caught my attention. And from that point and then forward, yo, Danny Garcia has just been doing it for me. And
yeah,
like to the point where, cause like he's usually mostly on Collision, like, I started looking forward to Collision. Like back when I had a steady way to watch AEW, because for a long time I didn't, but they stream on Mac now, and I
not
have
plug.
that, so I can watch that. I can watch it live now,
Yeah,
and like I just got done talking to somebody else about the fact like yes, you can go online and watch, the like after it's been taped, but there's just
it's not
something
the
about
same.
watching it when it's happening,
Happening.
when
Yeah.
it first shows up, type thing. And so I'm like, now I can get my AEW in like I want to. It's like because I need some more of that Danny Garcia. His theme song slap.
Mhm.
His in-ring performing is slap. He's a
Mhm.
decent promo for all that matter. And he makes me believe everything that he's doing because he's also a good seller.
Now,
Eh,
did you remember he's current TNT champion?
Yes.
Yeah, you could if you watch Dynamite, you couldn't tell.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we're too busy dropping people on bikes and sticking them to the back and all that craziness.
I'm glad you brought that spot up. Um, how'd you feel about that spot?
So, because funny enough, our my counterpart, my other brother of destruction, he loved it, but he's a
Mhm.
death match guy. All right,
Mhm.
have a problem with death matches. And, I love a good, bloody, gruesome, hardcore match and stuff like that. And I love crazy spots of that nature. But it's what you do with it after. He got dropped on it. But at the end of the night, not only did he win the match, but then he left on his own 2 feet,
Yeah.
like it never happened. They didn't make it important to me. And I'm like, it was cool in the moment when it happened, and they're trying to pull it out of his back,
Yeah,
and
I I
it's
I
making the
winced.
skin coral and everything, and I'm like, ooh, 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 this is ooh, ooh, ooh. And then they go through the rest of the match, and then it's like 10 minutes later, you kind of forgot that it happened because of the BS of the match, and then of course how the finish went down and whatnot. And then no sell Moxley over here. Like he didn't just go through a grueling match, leaves on his own accord, like everything's fine.
My problem with that spot was beside like I okay. First of all, the match was boring. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Oh,
Uh,
you know what else was boring? The last time we had that match on the pay-per-view on the main
yeah,
event.
yeah.
I literally fell asleep on that match. And I'm sitting here watching it on stream with the
Headset.
Mazaku in my ears and we're talking. And I wake up and I'm like, it's been 2 hours later. The stream's over. He's hung up. And then I see a message like, hey, bro, I think you passed out on me. And I'm like, shit.
I mean, the match was boring. I will say, like, I was zoned out when that match started. I peaked interest when that spot happened because like they teased that fucking bat so many times. You're like, oh, no one's ever gonna actually get hit by it. Seeing someone get hit by it, I was like, oh, okay, that was cool. I thought the spot was cool, and then yeah, after that, I was like, oh, we're just gonna do the running shenanigans of everything, and all this is set up Christian versus Edge again
for no belt, no
for no
titles on the
belt,
line, just to be beating the hell out of each other, which I
and then
guess is
also
fine. But like,
teasing Dax turning on Dawson. I forget their name. Cash. Uh, FTR. I always get their NXT names and their AW names confused. Uh, Teasing that, and I'm like, I don't really want to see FTR go against each other. First of all, like I have no interest. Um, and then like seeing, I was like, okay, all that for what? We didn't need to have this match. We could have just we could have just squabbled because you had the same ending as the pay per view, except a Christian Cage pin. So I was like, let's just move on to Swerve, and it's like hopefully it'll be cool. And I think I hope it's cool. But like one of the things about like AEW like talk about is like you have I don't know. You can make the argument the same for SmackDown, Raw, and NXT, but like if you when I watch Raw, I know who's on Raw and I know who's happening on Raw. When I watch Dynamite, I don't know what's happening to Collision. Either you split it up or you don't at
hmm
this point. Because Danny Garcia is TNT champion,
getting no real screen time.
no real screen time.
He's got no
Okada
program
Okada is Continental champion, which they're
in
setting
no.
up that finally. Yeah, they're finally setting that up. Um, Omega is international champion, which I know, which is cool. Omega took that belt and did something. He's fucking Kenny Omega, like he's the greatest of all time, one of. Uh, who are the trios champion?
Um,
Give me 5 seconds.
the Death Riders.
Death Riders. Yes.
And it's funny. The only reason why I know that was because I was trying to answer another question that I was looking for. Because I was trying to see like what is the AEW women's roster, and as I'm scrolling through, I'm like, wait, back then that they got the belt?
hmm
Oh, okay.
Which that storyline is going nowhere with Wheeler Yuta. Like, is he gonna leave the Death Riders? Is he staying with the Death Riders? Between that storyline and what's the other one? Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I
hmm
don't know who's gonna turn face first. I don't think neither of them are gonna at this point.
Yeah,
So
they've
like, who
been
cares?
they keep almost teasing, kind of teasing, and then they ease off of it. Then they go full into it, then they ease off it
He's
again.
off of it, and like, what are we doing with those? Who else is champions? Who's the tag team champions? That one I actually don't know.
I don't either, actually, not
Oh,
off the
Hurt
top of my
Business,
head.
Hurt Business,
Mm.
which I feel like they gave him those belts because what Bobby Lashley should be going for the main title.
Yes, but the main title picture is so mucked up right now,
Yeah,
and it's like there's nothing for Bobby right now over there in that
yeah,
area, and so just to continue at least making the Hurt Business relevant and I
they gave
guess
him a title.
slowly pushing them some and stuff like that. And I guess there's this little thing going on with MJF that they're trying to push a little more into. So it's like they're it's like I feel as if like for it's like AEW because they have so many big stars and whatnot, like the really really big ones. It's like they're trying to figure out what to do just to get them on TV
They're
for at
playing
least a little bit.
they're playing GM mode on hard,
Huh.
but with the cap off somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The- Damn, that's great. That's a good one. I like that.
I mean, one of my favorite jokes. I remember like when CM Punk was there and he got injured. I was like, man, Tony Khan never played GM mode in shows. You could tell he was on red. You don't put him in the match next night.
No, that's not how that works.
I was like,
Because
hey, that man was on red. What are you doing?
listen, his stamina is 21, and you're
Yeah,
not going to give him the pre-workout to make sure he doesn't get injured for the match. Just let him take a break. Hey, give
yeah.
him a fucking spa day, some.
But I mean, that's the argument is with AW is too many titles, and I hate bringing up like the Twitter arguments about it, but I kind of agree. Granted, there is more titles in WWE than there is in AEW. But the difference is they are show based.
Yes, they're show based, and on the show, to a certain degree, each title gets a good amount of shine. Like they pace it better. And it's like for their superstars who we know should be in the main event, they know how to give them enough lights where it's all like, yeah, no, we know these guys are big. Here they are. Look at them for a bit. You know what I'm saying?
For the
And
most part, unless it's like a big four pay per view, you can get away with just watching one show and having an understanding what's happening. Um,
I
like
mean,
if I
I
just
kind of do
uh,
it.
yeah, like you just want to watch Raw, you can watch Raw, and you can follow like okay, Braun's IC champion, uh, Gunther is heavyweight champion. You could follow that, but like if I'm trying to, if I only watch Dynamite, there's too much wrestling to watch. I used to watch it all, and I'm like, I have a life.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I'll catch up on Twitter if anything. I refuse to give it its new name. It's just I don't know, they're not show based in a sense. If you told me that Danny Garcia and the TNT title will only be defended on TNT, bam, cool, got it. But you go back and forth, I don't really care.
And not to mention, because like we have Dynamite and Collision,
hmm
and then we have the super secret show
Oh, behind the
called
paywall,
Ring of
ROH.
Honor
Yeah, who
that's
is the
happening.
who? I laugh because they brought up Billy Starks and they were like, she is the former Ring of Honor TV champion. I mean, who the fuck is the current women's TV champion in Ring of Honor?
Sam, that is me on a regular basis. Because like, because what happens for me, and I think I was talking about this on one of the last podcasts, where it's like I'll be watching, and really happens a lot with. Actually, no. Prime example. All right, Will Osprey the last episode, right? He had a
Mhm.
match with this guy named I think it was A Fox or something.
AR Fox.
AR
Red Velvet.
Fox.
By the way, Red Velvet is the current women's TV champion.
Okay. And I kind of like her.
Yeah,
But
Red
it's
Velvet.
like, so AR Fox versus Will Osprey. So going into this match, I had no idea who AR Fox was. And the way they presented him, I thought, oh, this is a jobber match.
Oh, damn.
I know. Now, AR
AR Fox
Fox
is dope.
slightly proved me wrong,
He's dope.
and I can see that he's dope, but he's also going against
Osprey.
Hulk and Will Osprey, you know?
You, I okay. So like that's another. I hate dog shitting on AEW. I hate doing so much, but like AEW, because I do enjoy the product. Like I don't want to be one of those people like, oh, he hates AEW. No, I really do enjoy watching AEW. But one thing about AEW is like you don't ever get the feeling that anyone can win that match. If you set up Osprey versus somebody who's on the lower mid card, you know Osprey's winning. You just
Which is why I thought he was a jobber. Now, like I
yeah.
said, he proved me he wasn't. But at the end of the day, which Mazuku he got onto me about it because I was like, the way he finished him, he didn't use his finishing move.
Well,
He
Osprey's one of those has multiple.
yes, but the move that he used, that's not the real one.
It's not the
That was his light work finish.
it's not the pay per view one. It's not the one he's gonna
His light work one.
yeah.
Like the way I saw that match was like when Goku enters in the martial arts tournament and he's going up against somebody and they're giving it their all and Goku is still fighting that base and he's
Mm,
like and then at the very end he'll be all which is exactly what happened. throughout it all, like he impressed Osprey a little bit. You know, Fox got a little bit of his stuff in, and then it got to a point where our neighborhood Billy Goat kind of looked down and was like, "Not bad, bruv, but you still need training," and then he wrapped that shit up, like
Yeah.
put him down, bladed, hit him with the switchblade move, whatever it is,
Oh, the
and I
hidden
was
blade. Yeah.
hidden blade. That's what it is. Hit him with the
Fucking
hidden
hurt.
blade, and it's one of those things like in the process of it, as seeing him fighting other people, I'm like, Osprey didn't break a sweat. This was light work,
Air
absolute light
Fox
work.
is dope. He's like an indie legend, if you want to put it. He's like a homicide,
I've I,
amazing red.
I've been put
Kind
on
of,
game.
yeah.
I've I have been promptly told to be like, some respect on that Fox's name, sir. And so I'm like, okay, but
I
the way it was presented to me, because not even just the way it was presented, yeah, no, specifically on how it was presented. When he was coming down to the ring, Taz, I think it was Taz who kind of sort of dissed him because he kind of sort of when the commentators were going back and forth, there was a certain point where it was like, well, this is AR Fox, da da da, and it was like, yeah, but he's no Osprey. Like, like they literally laid that shit out for me. I'm like,
we'll put it this way: if you are a main event player in ROH, then you are a mid carder at best in AEW.
the Sunday Night Heat player, like
I
velocity guy.
like you those guys could go put on some bangers in ROH, and you'd be like, all right, ROH doesn't have that problem of like, okay, this guy's gonna win that AEW has.
Hmm.
Everybody's kind of like even playing ground. Shit, who's TV champion now? Lee Moriarty. Lee Moriarty's fucking dope.
Yeah, I
Uh,
like him.
yeah, but like, when's the last time we saw Lee Moriarty win on Dynamite or
Couldn't
Collision? In
tell
that
you.
factor, yeah,
Couldn't
but
tell
he's
you.
champion ROH. I also call the Ring of Honor main championship the Here Damn title. Uh, it's just, it's to give somebody who should be a world champion that world champion moniker, but not give him the world
Mm,
champion title. You know what I mean? It's like,
listen.
here, damn, just take it. Like Cesaro when he came out, I was like, Cesaro's never been a world champion. Claudio gets there, you know, what do you give him? The ROH title. Well, now Claudio has been a world champion.
Like,
Even though he's the
okay.
third guy in his group, he's the world champion. You know, here, damn. Briscoe, like you wanted, you know, Mark to get that, you know, like his story is amazing.
Hmm.
You're not gonna give him the AEW championship.
No, which
Well,
is
here, damn,
unfortunate.
take that one.
That's
Eddie Kingston,
that's a term.
yeah, Eddie Kingston. One like I love Eddie Kingston.
Mm,
Ring work and promo too. I love Eddie Kingston the person so much.
mm.
I mean, he's right here. That's my dude. Love Eddie Kingston. Uh, Chanel would be nowhere near the AEW main championship.
Oh, absolutely not.
But the storyline of him becoming a world champion is really dope because of his like his backstory and all the stuff he's fought through. Here, damn, take the ROH one.
And what didn't he have? He had like that, and he had like that and like some other
Yeah,
belt
he
too.
had three titles. He had the Strong Championship in New Japan and Continental.
And that's another thing that I think I feel like with the way that AEW kind of works sometimes, be like Miss Monet.
Just real quick, the ROH title was like post Ruthless Aggression Big Gold era title equivalent.
Mm, I see
You know, when you give it a
it.
Christian, the Mark Henry, your boy Kane, you're like,
Yeah, yeah, that's and
that's
the
the
thing,
equivalent.
as someone who loved the big gold to death and personally felt that the big gold was better than the
Yeah.
WWE title. it wasn't, but
Yeah, that
I still believe.
you don't give Jack Swagger the WWF championship. Sorry, WWE championship.
Hey,
You
don't
give
talk
him
don't talk about my
you
belt like that.
you you give him
Don't.
the big gold.
It is right there. Don't disrespect him. All
I'm
right, don't
sorry,
do that.
but like there's levels to this. Like,
Don't do that. Don't no. I won't. I can't sit here with that. Nah, nah. Hey, so
hey,
this has been a great podcast. Like,
but like it's the all right, man. Let's let me talk about my ECW title. All right, like that. Forget that. That's nothing.
yeah.
The last ECW World Heavyweight Champion is Ezekiel Jackson. Like, let's.
Listen, he deserves so much more respect on his goddamn name. Boy,
But
this
that
right here is domination.
I just want to throw it out there. Like WWE, they originated that shit too. Here's the here damn title. Oh, Christian needs to be world champion because Edge is retiring. Well, here, take that.
I'm not going to agree with you, and I'm actually going to resent that statement because I don't appreciate it at all. Actually, I don't like that.
I search your feelings. You know to be true.
Don't do that to me. Stop it. No. Oh man. Funny enough, let's switch gears a little bit
Yeah,
because once again, we're actually still kind of on point with what I was wanting to talk to you because that all that was exactly where we was getting to go to. But to segue a little bit, because you brought up your that Eddie Kingston figure and whatnot, and as you're sitting in a room of figures of all kinds,
yeah,
like one day, once I figure it out, and because prior to us starting this particular recording, we had all kinds of technical difficulties to figure things out. We actually still didn't quite figure out everything, but
we got to run it.
Jerry rigged it and we're doing it. But
Yeah, the steel cage is held by zip ties. We're good.
yeah, just don't do a suplex on it,
Yeah.
choke slam instead. But you are obviously an avid collector.
Mm-hmm. You could put it nicely.
and
Yeah.
and just to kind of shed some extra light on it here for you and for the crowd and the masses that will be seeing. When it comes to your collecting, when and where did it actually start?
Uh, Toy Story 3.
Really, Toy Story 3.
Um, Technically, my collection started when I was a kid. I mean, I was a kid though. Shout out to my mom for keeping my Dragon Ball Z collection. Mom used to buy me a bunch of Dragon Ball Z toys, and she kept them like in a box. Um, and then like I had a bag of X-Men figures that I still like randomly when I was younger pull out and play with. Um, but I saw Toy Story 3 in theaters, and like that whole giving up your toys and all that shit made me sad. So like I went home and I was living in Orlando and I went home with my parents. I grabbed like two of my Dragon Ball Z figures. Like I had a Goku statue, so I brought that home, and then when I moved back to Tampa and I had access to all of them again, I was like, oh, let me just display them. So I started displaying them, and then I just started going to conventions, and I would just see some Marvel figures because I was really big into Marvel at that time, and I was like, well, I don't have this character. Let me add him. I don't have this character. I add him. And then it just spiraled out into this fucking hodgepodge of a mess that is this. And yeah, that's how we got here. Literally, just watching one movie, getting sad. I was like, I want to bring a toy home. To now, like, well, I know all these are here. Put them up, and yeah,
To
eh,
now going to a store and like, I want to bring all of those home too.
yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm actually on a 3-month break for myself, buying no figures. A,
Nice.
it's 'cause I don't have any space, and B, it's just the way to save money right now. It's actually been going pretty well. I almost did fumble because apparently no one cares about Spider-Man Unlimited besides me.
Oh, what you found some?
Found a Spider-Man Unlimited figure. I'm like, why? Who?
Where at?
Target.
Oh, Target.
Yeah, it's the retro line. It's on the big card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I feel like I'm the only person that gives a shit about Spider-Man Unlimited. Uh, because they were pegging up that thing. That was all that was left, and I was like,
Ooh. Ooh.
and I grabbed it and I flipped it back and I looked at the other characters in the line. I was like, oh yeah, there's Kane. Yeah, no, that's gonna be gone. Chameleon with the J Jonah mask. Yeah, that's gone. Like I get it. I get it why we just have Spider-Man Unlimited, but I love me some Spider-Man Unlimited. It was Spider-Man Unlimited, Batman Beyond. Those are like the two.
Nah,
And we
I'm
never
with
we never
I'm
got to
with you on
finish
that,
Spider-Man Unlimited. It was left on a cliffhanger.
which is unfortunate. Those oh goodness. That
But
because I really like that show too.
I'm uh I'm I'm praying to God, once my 3 months are up, that figure's still warming.
Still there?
That's still warming, and you're like, all right, that one's coming home. Like I've just been staring at it. The lore has been testing me though, because they did drop the 30th anniversary Goofy movie pops, and they dropped
Mm.
Powerline, like the Powerline pop with the glasses, so he doesn't have the
Ooh.
fucking beady eyes. So like it's
Ooh.
just a nice little vinyl pop.
Oh, that I might have to figure. I might have to find that.
It's once we bring the podcast back, we'll like, oh, we got to figure all this out. But that is currently up for pre sale on Big Bad Toy Store.
Oh, nice.
It's up for pre sale. Jopium. I felt bad because I showed him in the car. We were in the rental. He pre
Ah,
ordered that so fast.
what? Listen, let it be known, people. That's what he does.
Yeah,
That is, I'll be sitting here minding my business, you know, being a good Christian boy, saving my money and paying my bills, and all of a sudden out here I'll get a, oh, what Alexa's doing? It's a link. And I'm like, gosh, what's this link? And I click on it, and I guess it's my fault for letting him know about the stuff that I like, because he would
I'm really
just be
good
all
about that.
like,
If I find
"Hey,
out something you like, I will send it to you
like,
as soon as I
like
find it.
literally the other day," and I actually hate myself for remembering because now after this podcast, I am actually going to buy it. But he found on this one, I think it's Paxson website, that they have not any kind of cane shirt. And I talked about this in a prior podcast, but they have the old school inverted color cane on a t-shirt where he's
Mm,
wearing, instead of it being the black on top of red, it is the red
that's
on
right.
top of the black. And this is also when I call him when he was going through his fresh and so clean era because he got a girlfriend now.
Hmm.
And it's like that was such a particular time that I'm just like, I Kane was doing it for me. And I felt so heartbroken when that Jezebel betrayed him and then went to his best friend in X-Pac. Like, ho- and then on top of that, if I'm not mistaken, the blowout was Kane actually still freaking lost,
Yeah,
which is
that sounds about
even
right.
worse. Which is even worse because now me being the Kane man, I've shed way too many tears over Kane. But
Uh,
nonetheless, this man found a shirt with him on it. I'm just all like, I gotta get that now. And then followed it up with a Lord Zed shirt. What? I've never seen a Lord Zed shirt in my life.
and they had two.
Crazy. So I'm just like, damn. Why you trying to make me broke? Like, I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to save money to do other things.
My
Like,
bad.
I'm trying to pay bills, and now here I am buying these three shirts.
I actually have two funny Kane stories. Uh, I'll tell the toy hunting one first. So like I was getting back into like WWE figures, and shout out to my boy Josh. But he had told me that a Kane figure dropped. And it was a basic Kane. Like it wasn't like the elite or anything. It was just a regular Kane figure.
Mhm.
And I went to multiple WalMarts trying to find a damn thing. And the last Walmart I went into, I ran into all people Adam Rose.
Well,
Yeah, of all people, I ran into Adam Rose in that Walmart, and it was post release Adam Rose. So like, man was looking like you.
yeah,
I ran into Adam Rose twice since his release, and both times were sketchier and sketchier.
yeah,
Uh,
he don't even look like what he used to anymore.
no, I ran into a fresh like 2 days released Adam Rose at the tattoo shop, and he just had like random girls with him, and one of the girls was getting a rose tattoo.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm like, don't you got a whole kid and a wife, bro? Like, I was thinking that as I was getting tatted, and I'm like, that ain't my business.
That's what something. Why are you? So wait, so that's what one you rent, and then the one in this. So that's
Yeah,
three. That's three different Adam Rose run-ins you've had.
yeah, it's wild. That Walmart one was just like, the man was wearing like a big ass jacket. You could have told me he was on meth. I would have believed you, because like my man's
Oh,
face was like, I'm talking about the definition of disheveled. Like,
oh, he was going through it.
yeah, I was like, man, whatever you just did, it felt like, hold up, big ambulance. I wasn't trying to get all that in
Oh,
there.
I actually
Uh,
I think I only slightly heard like, uh oh, someone's in trouble.
nah. And the second Kane story is when I actually met Kane. Hold up, one more time. Yeah, go rescue him. They're on the job.
For them.
Yeah, love
Save
that for
lives.
podcasting. Um, but the second time I met, like the first time I met Kane was at Dragon Con, and I got my autograph from him and everything. And I was talking to him, and I told him that was my first match, like his debut. That's Kane,
Mhm.
and he goes, "Yeah, that was 21 years ago." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah," and he just looks at me, and I kind of see like the look in his eyes, just realizing where the fuck time went, because I told him I was a child watching. So I was like, I gave that man like a quarter life crisis at that moment.
Dang. That
Yeah,
that far away there. I'm like, that was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Like,
yeah,
oh man.
yeah. Those are my two funny Kane moments. One with him and one because of him.
Freaking when it comes to your figures though, like when it comes to your wrestling ones, what is like your prized wrestling figure?
My basic Razor remote that's back there because it's actually signed by Scott Hall. So that would be
Okay.
my prize one. Up there with the Enzo and Cass one you got from me signed as well. But
Uh, oh
yeah, no,
yes.
that Razor one that's my prime one. Just because that was the first time I got like a figure signed by somebody,
Oh,
and
that was the
Scott
first
Hall,
time. Okay.
yeah, and Scott Hall was so cool when I met him. 'Cause I showed up doing like a light class cosplay of him, and
Ah, okay.
he had fixed my bandana and everything for me, and I was like, all right, this is like
Oh,
really dope. Oh yeah, it was cool. It was a cool fucking moment. Uh,
that is that is dope.
yeah, yeah, because he saw he recognized what I was trying to do. He's like, oh, let me fix the Tupac for you. And, like he fixed it up and everything, and he took a picture.
Perf.
So,
I think you got a picture of it.
mhm.
Like you got that picture somewhere in the room as
Um,
well. I know I've
yeah,
seen it.
yeah, I printed it
So,
out. That's so yeah, that's my prize. Like I mean, it's hard to say. Like I know like my prized possession in my Marvel collection is my Rom Space Knight figure, which I have heat with John Cena over. Uh,
oh, quite a connection to make there.
yeah. I love telling this story. Like the camp was small, especially for wrestlers. Um, when
They
me and
all are
John
there.
Cena shopped at the same toy store, and Rom Space Knight is a very obscure Marvel character. He was made by Parker Brothers. It was a licensed character, but for whatever reason, Marvel said bet and just made one of the dopest comic book runs ever with this character.
Hmm.
But they have zero rights to now. So, but like I love the Rom Space Knight series. So at the time, you could only really get one figure of Rom, and that's the original '70s one. And this toy store I went to, he had two of them. He had one out of the box, which is the one that was like 175, which is the one I wanted, and then one in the box was like 300 or something. So I was saving up to where like I can afford the ROM out of the box, and the day I went to go get it, it was gone. And I was like,
Hmm.
damn, like someone bought it. And Red told me, that's the shop owner. He's like, yeah, Cena bought it. And I was like, the fuck you mean Cena bought it? He's like, yeah, John Cena bought that in my GI Joe thing. Like it was a big GI Joe thing. I go, Cena got money. Why the fuck did Cena buy the one in the box? Why he had to buy the one that's out of the box?
Mm,
You feel me? I was like,
damn.
fuck you, Cena. You could have bought the
Un-
one in the box.
Undercut by the face of the WWE.
I was like, that's always my random, like, I have heat with Cena because he bought the one I wanted.
You know what? I would love to see the day when you can just one day see Cena and be like, by the way, Cena, I got a bone to pick with you. You know that figure? And I'm sure like when you name it, he'll know it because it's a
It's
very
such an obscure.
specific thing. And
Yeah.
he's like, you know, that time, yeah, I was coming to get that.
Like,
Like,
fucking Cena, bro. That and then Matt Cardona buying the Dennis Rodman figure I wanted was also pretty funny.
oh goodness,
Yeah.
you have
Uh,
some stiff competition out here in the toy collecting world, huh? Like,
that one was funny. I can't confirm if Matt Cardona got that Dennis Rodman figure, but I'm using context clues because I had it saved in my eBay, and then when I was gonna go get it, it was gone. And then I see on Instagram Matt Cardona holding the Dennis Rodman figure doing this, talking about it, and I was just like,
uh,
I can't
I
confirm
see.
that you bought it, but like,
The time is timing
yeah.
perfectly.
And I'm just like, you motherfucker. Like, first Cena, then you.
Jeez. That's actually even more funnier considering the fact that they used to be buddy buddy and
Yeah,
the
Kane and
whole
all. Yeah,
mm, that's that's crazy.
yeah.
That is crazy. And so now when it comes to those kind of things, like out of your wrestling figures, what wrestling figure do you think or you may actually know is like probably like the most like like if you put it online right now and you was gonna sell it, you could probably buy a new house with it,
That's
or
a
at
good
least a
one.
nice tool shed.
That's a good one. Probably the Hasbro Kevin Owens figure because those went up in value, and mine's autographed by KO.
Ooh.
Um, but that's a good one. I had to like relook because I do have a defining moment Shinsuke Nakamura up there. I know went for some pennies. I have a I forgot what brand that Eddie Guerrero one is up there. I have a defining moments Taker too that I got for 299 like at a Target
Oh,
clearance. That's worth a couple
nice.
pennies. I did pick up the Faces of Raw pack, like what it was like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, Becky Lynch of all people, and the Rock, Rocky Maivia figure, like
Okay.
set. I picked up at Ollie's for a good price. Um,
Mm. Good
yeah,
places to find shit.
yeah. My I know my Darby Allen and Brody King Chase figures are up there as well in price. It's very hard for me to say because I haven't price point a lot of these in a while. Because I rarely try to buy them resale. You know.
Yeah, you're a out and wild Pokemon catcher.
Yeah. Like I do know I have some that are worth pretty pennies now. Like my if I remember I think I had a Funko Pop that's worth a couple hundred. Like I think my old Undertaker up there is actually worth because it has the old logo.
Ooh,
Let me
okay.
and then yeah, it's hard for me to say. I know
Listen,
my collection is at least double digits in value, if not pushing triple at this point. It's
oh
like
yeah, easy, easy. I'd push to say even more, and I would even say I would push to say it's easy that if we were just judging by the wrestling figures alone.
all right, like
You-
this alone, the Taker Pop I have up there, $80.
for
It's
the
just
pop.
yeah,
Mm,
on Amazon of all places, selling it from Funko themselves, $80.
listen, when it comes to the toy game, for those who are looking and watching, whenever I'm just out and about and I'm going to the store, it's because of this guy right here that for whatever reason, I'm going to the store looking for shoes. That's way over there. But before I leave, I have to at least take a peek at the at the toys, just to see what might be there. And
I
usually,
am
when I find something and I'm like, oh, I just take a picture of it, I send it to him. And it's one of those things. I don't even have to say anything. I just be like, send, take picture, send, and usually be all like, oh yeah, I've seen that, or hmm, that's new.
that's
And
new
you,
is when you had to grab it.
yes, which like literally the other day, the to the T, I'm going through the aisle and I'm like, and it was the last one there, and
Did
it
you grab it?
is, oh yeah, it's in the closet actually.
Bet.
I actually was originally going to bring it out because I wanted to show it to you, but Phantom Ranger, Invisible Phantom Ranger, and it's literally the regular Phantom Ranger toy, just a different color swap on it, where it's all white and it
Mm,
actually has certain parts on it that are actually kind of like a clear see-through thing. And at first I'm like, why is he this way? And it's literally just because of the fact that that's literally one of the Phantom Ranger's powers. He goes invisible. So this is just the I guess the invisible toy version of him,
mhm.
which is crazy, but at the same time it looked really dope. And I'm like,
Grab.
guess we'll take it.
I'm just gonna say this now, and anyways, listening. If you see Power Ranger figures outside of Mighty Morphin, grab them because that's gonna be stopping very soon. It's gonna be Mighty Morphin or nothing coming up because the other ones don't really sell well. I think Hasbro sold the license.
Mm.
Uh, and yeah, if you liked anything besides Mighty Morphin, you're fucked. That is it's gonna be Mighty Morphin. That's it. So grab them now. Uh, honestly, you
And
see it for the price,
for
grab them.
those who are looking for a good place to start, check out your local Aldi's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Ollie's, not Aldi's.
Ollie's. Uh,
Ollie's,
hey
because
man, shopping on a budget, go to all these too.
listen,
Oh,
they actually
somebody else
they
is in
always.
danger.
Uh-oh, all these stretcher matches going on in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
fam.
Well, you know, I bought a house near a firehouse, so that
Oh,
happens.
listen, as someone who grew up right next to the fire station, I get it.
The price was good. Um, but to go like on like collecting things, a good segue. I recently got into the vintage market a bit, which is another rabbit hole I shouldn't be falling down.
Mm,
But like collecting vintage teas is actually pretty wild. So like I hit up this vintage market yesterday for the first time with my mom of all people. Because me and my mom love thrifting, and I love thrifting because I will always find something dope. Butterscotch Bunny, she always says I always come back with something, like just randomly.
Like, like,
When I go, like the fact that I found the full set of Dragon Balls at the thrift store at one time,
that's crazy to me that you found that. Just
the full set. I found, I forgot some other rare ass figures I found at the thrift store. Uh, but yeah, checked out this vintage market. I was getting sad how much they were asking for these fucking shirts, man. Because like the first one I saw was the Stone Cold shirt I've been looking for, which was the half like Terminator skull face one, the blue.
oh, dang, I ain't seen that in a minute.
Yeah, and I didn't like the shirt 100% because like it was definitely 90s. Like what? Because like the front of the shirt is like, hey, it's like, hey, jack off, like look at the back or something like that, and then the back had the thing, and I was like,
Oh,
okay, that's
oh,
kind of weird.
that's brutally attitude error right there.
Yeah. So I asked the guy, I was like, yo, how much is that one? He's like $80, and I just went, okay. Just like swallow that one. I was like,
Well,
thanks, not
next
gonna
one
do it. Yeah, next one. And then I saw a WCW Goldberg shirt, like the big print,
with the
like Goldberg on the front, like he's like
oh,
on
it's
it
like
with the
oh, one of
blue.
those.
Yeah, and I was just like, how much is that one? 300. Okay, all right, you you got it. Congrats. uh, what's the other one? I saw an original ECW shirt. I was going for like 150. And I was just getting sadder. I was like, yo, these WWE shirts from back in
Poor
the day are
God knows. I
I
mean, I've only one time ever been in that position. And funny enough, I was going to wear that shirt today, but instead I wore it yesterday out somewhere. And so I ended up putting on the gold dust. But I had, and I actually don't know what triggered me to want it, but like I had this moment where I was like, I need a Cactus Jack shirt.
yeah,
And so, and at the time, they were out of print. And so I'm looking all over the place and I'm shopping on eBay and they're looking on eBay, which by eBay still exists, right?
of course.
I just don't hear people talk about eBay anymore.
And it's because
Like,
whatnot and all that is out there now. So, but
uh,
eBay is still strong.
okay. But it was like, I remember looking on eBay and like at the time, the cheapest I found, it was like 60 bucks was the cheapest. And I just couldn't find cheaper. And the one that was 60 bucks, it was only 60 bucks because they were auctioning it. They were doing an auction for it, and that's what
Mm,
the price was. I'm like, I'm not about to try and go through all that bullshit. So I gave up, and then my second chance of trying to get one was that Mick Foley was actually like doing a tour of
right.
some sort, and he was doing a limited edition selling of the shirt. And I actually think that's when I was all like, this is my chance. And I got it.
There you go.
But and then much later on down the line, I'm actually trying to remember.
Another stretcher match. Give it a second here.
Oh, going back, I hear it. But I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I always
remember. Was it you who got it for me? Because
probably.
it was a, it was a different version of Cactus Jack,
Yeah, I
where it
sent it to
shows
you. I did
Cactus
the thing
Jack
that's
and it's got it says it was like, but it's in red and it says King of the Death Match on it.
yeah. I sent you the link. I remember I did that thing where I just text you the link.
Yeah, yeah, I went and I swapped that one too. So now I got two Cactus Jack shirts on deck, and so yeah, yeah. Once
It's
again, you and your handiwork, whether if I appreciate it or hate it that you do it, and then appreciate you later. Because Drip
sorry.
is drip, and I appreciate it. Just not in the moment. I'm like, I gotta spend money for this, bro. Like, why are you doing this?
I think what got me like into like the vintage stuff was by accident because like I have an original Team USA 10th anniversary jacket, like the basketball team. And I
Wow.
got it. Yeah, I got it when I was younger. Like I found it in a clearance rack at like Sports Authority or some shit. I scooped
Wow.
it, and it's one of these like, oh, it's big on me, but I'll grow into it. Like one of those things. So I grabbed it and I wore it to work one day. And I'm talking about like it's still prime pristine white. I don't wear it that often. Uh, and I was like, oh, let me just wear it. You know, it's dope. And I was like, oh, for shits and giggles, let me see like if this is worth anything. $700. And I went, never wearing this again. Th- It's in my closet right there. And then, I kind of did it as a one off. I was like, oh, nothing of it. And then when I went to go see Wu Tang, I wanted to wear like one of my different Wu Tang shirts. So I had a Raekwon shirt that I bought in a pack when he dropped his album. It came with the shirt, the Shaolin versus Wu Tang, all that.
Okay.
And I wore that one. And I was like, oh, for shits and giggles, let me see how much this is. $500. And I went, cool. I wore that the rest of the day. Like, I better not
Take a
get
picture.
anything.
Take a picture or two, and
Yeah, that was it. It's in the closet, just it's hanging up. I was like, I can't wear that one again. So I was just like, now the one I fucked up on was when I did Mag West. I have a Marvels of Capcom shirt. I bought a Hot Topic like years ago,
I remember
but
seeing
like
that shirt.
yeah, it has shrunk on me a bit because it's older. So I was like, oh man, if I just cut the sleeves off of it, it'll be just fine.
Mm,
I cut the sleeves off of it, and then like after I cut the sleeves, I was like, oh, I probably should see how much that was. $300 shirt. I just cut the sleeves off of,
mm,
and my mom went, "Why did you do that?" And I was like,
mm. It's probably only $100. Well, maybe 100, maybe 50, 50 to a
maybe
hundred bucks
50.
now.
Yeah, that this brings me up because like my boy was selling an original Four Horsemen WCW shirt. Uh, he's mad because the sleeves are cut off of it, and he told me that shirt was worth $200 because the sleeves are cut off. It's a $50 shirt.
Listen, like that makes me wonder about some of my wrestling shirts,
Yeah,
because I might have to check. Because I know I actually have like I think I have like two or three wrestling shirts that were actually special edition shirts. Like there was a
right.
random time where they was doing that, and it's one of my favorite ones. It's like this green Randy Orton shirt. It's got this crazy design on it that I bought way, way back. And so I'm like, you saying this, I'm like, maybe because like right now my thing that I've decided I'm going to just do for the podcast because I have so many wrestling shirts. Literally, I'm just gonna be like every time I'm on camera, just going to do a different wrestling shirt,
Yeah,
see if I can cycle through them all, kind of thing. And so
I, I am
it's
curious because
like,
he did send me like because I my friend does the vintage stuff. He did send me some like wrestling shirts that he's had, and one was the Undisputed Future Seth Rollins shirt,
mm,
and I have that one. And I was like, I should have asked him how much that one was worth because I have it already. So it's
mm,
it's interesting. I I need to go through my shirt collection and like price everything out and see what I want to
price
keep.
the interesting shirts that you have
Yeah,
instead of
because
just giving them away. Get a little compensation for it. See if someone else
yeah,
will buy it for a good price. You
yeah,
know.
like some of it's a bundle. Cause like I do have like I mean I have a lot of shirts from when I was 115 pounds. I can't really fit anymore, you know. So
I feel that. I have a lot
yeah,
of large shirts that I'm working on trying to slightly fit again. So
I was like, no, I could fit my mediums, but like the mediums that shrunk are the ones I'm like,
them the mediums now.
yeah, yeah, the ones that like I've had for a long time. They're kind of like that bunched up on me. I'm like, all right, I need a like I also have like a the one NXT William Regal shirt.
Wow, random. That's a deep cut.
It doesn't fit me at all. It's a size small, and it
Listen
shrunk.
now. I really am going to be. I mean, granted, because I also know I'm going to go through like a very interesting period of rediscovering shirts that I have. Because what was it? I think there was a what was the shirt that I pulled out that I was all like, oh, as I wore it. I think I actually wore it for the last podcast. I have a white Nakamura shirt,
Mm,
like this white Shinsuke Nakamura shirt. I
I
have
know
a
which one you're
red
talking about.
one. Yeah, I have a white one, and I also have a red one where it's like the little. I think it's probably the Wakizashi hilt
Mm,
that's on the shirt. And I'm pretty certain I had another one, but then I think about how I also, because when I was a Dolph Ziggler fan, I went stupid hard and I bought every single shirt he would come out with. And then that was back when sometimes WWE do the thing where they'll have multiple versions of the shirt. So I have the pink and like that blue color version of a shirt of his, which is one of my favorite ones. And then I also have the black where it's like a blue and white, but it's the same shirt. And I have a couple, like maybe like two other shirts where it's like it's the same shirt, just different color hues for Dolph Ziggler. And so it's,
so the one you have on right now,
hmm
uh, I was just eBayed it real quick. It's about a $30 shirt, the one you have now. But if
okay,
you had the yellow version, which you do you have that one?
I do.
$100.
I'm already sitting on 100.
Yeah,
All for
that
real.
one, $100.
Yes. Yep, it's right in that drawer behind this computer. Like,
It's, that one is a $100 shirt.
nice.
It's and I from what I've learned about like the dabbling into it, size large and XL are always going to be the most expensive version of that shirt.
hmm
Uh,
Oh, then I'm paid.
yeah, it's because those they'll survive the shrinkage
Mm,
because they're already larger sizes.
okay. No,
Uh,
that makes
yeah,
sense. If the when they yeah, no that checks. Ooh, see now I'm gonna have to pull out all my wrestling shirts. I'm gonna start going through them because I mean, granted, I'm not gonna get rid of them. And there's been a couple of times where I've almost gotten rid of them. And I know there are some wrestling shirts from my last move that I did get rid of because they were just like they were small and
yeah.
I didn't and I was like or they were like shirts that were given to me that I'm like I'm not gonna wear. Like I know Mazuku one time gave me this random HBK shirt that they sent
Mm.
him on accident and it wasn't even his size and I held on to it for a little while. I hope I didn't get rid of it, but I had a Jake the Snake Roberts shirt and
That
it's
might be
literally it was just a green shirt, got a little snake, and it says Jake the Snake on it. Very obscure, very random, but I don't remember if I got rid of it. And it's like I was looking for it because I actually was going to see if I could put it on not too long ago. And instead of finding that, I found this random Cell T-shirt that I have,
fire.
which is same color green. It's like about as green as whatever is behind you that's green right
Oh, my
there.
Beyblades.
Oh, that's perfect. But it's like it's that color green, and it's literally just like Cell in his hatchling form, and then the his after he's hatched, and then perfect Cell just
Like
going across, kind of thing. Just one of those random back. Remember back in the day when there used to be those websites where it'd be like, "Hey, we're selling this T-shirt, and it's only going to
those
be on sale for like the next
24
24
hour
hours." And
the
buy it till they're
T
gone. But
Fury.
after that is it's gonna be gone forever. I got so
You
many
know,
shirts that way.
I kind of miss
I
that
do.
that era of cons because that was a very specific era.
It
Back in
was.
my day, let me not get on that horse.
Listen, as it and actually, I'm looking at the time and
Mm,
whatnot, and I know we wanted to get to the music bit, but because I know there's a lot to it, we're just
yeah.
gonna have to run this thing back again. And
Oh, next
so,
time I gotta fix a plate.
yeah, yeah. Next time you go into the kitchen, get your own plate.
All right, bet.
I've
Sounds good.
this we wine and dine you this time, but after this, like. You live here. But
Next
so
time,
because
if you want to talk music, I'll text Rand for some quotes and see what he can share.
that
That's
would be nice.
that'll be my one weird flex. Yeah, because we didn't even talk about how Battle Rumble was created and
Yes,
the
because
process of that.
there's there is the us just talking about music in wrestling, that could just be a whole deal on its own, especially considering what we've talked about and where we've gone with the conversation. But to wrap things up, bring it
Mhm.
all the way back to with what's going on with wrestling now, and also because you're actually very good at this,
Okay,
because I've been in the presence where you've just said, I think this happens. And then literally seconds after it comes out of your mouth,
talking about you want to talk about Edge?
oh yes, that's one. That's actually the one. Literally this man, we're sitting there, we're watching the Royal Rumble, and then like they're doing the countdown getting ready now. Nothing prompt this, like nothing, no background information on whether the fact Edge was gonna be there. Like there had been small whispers, but they were like not enough whispers to
Yeah.
like really like take any stock in. But then he was all like, you know what, that'd be wild if Edge would come out right now in the
Oh
Royal
no, I think I
Rumble.
said you think you know me, and then
Yeah,
like
literally, it was like he did it and it happened, and I'm looking, I'm like, how'd you know?
no, all I said was like that felt like a good number for him to come out at.
Absolutely wild, the
Yeah,
things that he's called, because there's been like a couple of other ones where where you just kind of sort of like you called it, and then not
the
even
pre-passion was
within
a
the
good
two
one.
minutes of you calling it and us disputing about whether or not if that makes sense, and then it just straight happens, and now I'm just all like,
Yeah,
okay, got it.
I think the last one I called was the priest cashin. Uh,
Yes, that that one was crazy. See,
yeah,
especially because once again, it didn't seem like no, why would he, or maybe he would, and now he's the champion, and we're all like, wow, are you one of the writers? Like,
no, but we do know a writer now. Uh, but nah,
yes,
I just
but
seen enough wrestling.
listen, it once again, these predictions very spot on. So when it comes to WrestleMania right now, with how everything is set up, what you
Mhm.
thinking?
Cena should win. That's what I'm feeling.
Hmm.
Cena's gonna win. I'm
Agreed.
calling a fatal four way for the USA title. That's
Mm.
it. I'm seeing LA Knight, Shinsuke, uh, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. If not, we're gonna take out Damian Priest and Drew for their own match, and I'm seeing Jimmy and Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
I just see a fatal four way happening there for that title. Um, I feel like the women's international intercontinental title probably won't make the card. I hope I'm wrong, but I would love to see Lyra versus Bailey for it.
That would
Uh,
be nice.
with Bailey winning it, I think Bailey can levitate that title a little bit more. Um,
I also agree. However, I am glad that Lyra got it.
yeah, I mean, I was pulling for Dakota, but Lyra is just somebody I'm not into. I don't know why, because she has everything I should like. But I'm just like every time I see her, I'm just like, eh.
I mean, I'm also there with you as well. But it's like though, like I'm but I'm all like, I'm giving her some chances here, you
Yeah,
know.
it's just I don't know. I know we had to wrap up on time. Just real quick, Lyra Valkyria rant of all things. Uh, the storyline that they had with her with Tatum Paxley, where Tatum like turned on her after being in love with her and all that stuff, was
Yeah,
wrapped up way too fast. And I feel like that storyline would have been enough to establish Lyra as a character
100%.
more. Because Lyra's great. I just can't.
There's not a whole lot of substance to sink your teeth into.
Yeah,
Outside,
yeah.
I mean,
Besides
she's a
Bird
great
Woman.
performer
Yeah,
and everything, but like her character that keeps you locked in, they're like they don't give enough yet.
yeah.
That's actually how
So
I feel about Ivy Nile. Like I need Ivy Nile to break away from the chumps and just
I think she's developing finally. Now they're giving her more speaking roles. I think she should stay with them, but just let her run more promos.
that's fair. That's
Where
fair.
Chad's not there, let her run the promos. I think that would be sick.
Cause like
But
I love her look, I love her character, and I like when she speaks.
I think the big one, this the rapper. I think the big one should be Cena winning the title, getting number 17 as a heel.
Only because I've mentioned it. Gunther and Oos.
Who's he has to win it. He has to. Um, if
Listen,
not, if he doesn't win it, I don't want him anywhere near that scene ever again. If he doesn't take it
oh,
to
it's
time,
like that. You're
yeah.
like, hey yo, if you lose, don't come back.
hmm
Ooh,
If it
ooh.
happened to Shinsuke, it happened to you. I want you gone from that
Mm.
scene.
Oh, that's a deep cut because
Yeah,
I'm still hurt about Shinsuke
we all are.
not
We all are.
being there.
But like, yeah, no, that's the equivalent to me. Um, like what they were on the card,
Hmm.
taking that Royal Rumble. Like, yeah, no.
So
You better win it or don't come back.
so we have this thing that I know our next podcast we're going to more so kind of like give it a true definition and whatnot, but we call it the discus lariat lounge. And the idea is kind of sort of like where though there when a statement like that is made and then we spin it and hit you with a very wild ass hot take in regards to it. My discus lariat in that regards is that we keep on this same trajectory because right now, last Raw, he finally, not fully, but he kind of got his lick finally
Yeah.
after being choked the hell out 2 weeks in a row. He finally got his lick back. My discus Larry is that he's going to once we get close to WrestleMania, he's finally going to be in a position where it's all like, oh snap, I think we can believe that he can get this done, and then he absolutely does.
Mm,
And even more so, it's not so much that he doesn't because he couldn't, but somebody comes out of
cost.
nowhere who is a hater and completely just screws him over. And it's like someone you don't expect, like just
Like
some,
Aleister Black
just,
returns and does it. Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
something wild like that. A very odd name to choose to just come
He's
to your
coming back.
mind.
He's coming back. He's the
It,
first person I could think of that could.
listen, if for whatever reason, if it was Aleister Black, you're just going to be doing the podcast from now on because apparently you got information that the universe
Here,
does not have.
here's my big one. I'm gonna call it now. Dom Mysterio is gonna be IC champion by the time WrestleMania is over. That's my big one.
Mm, I fucks with that. That's a bold statement. I fucks with it.
Um,
I like we're very early in that kind of development, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. I see it. Okay.
that
All right.
that's my big one. I'm gonna call it now. Dom Mysterio will pin Finn Balor for the IC title,
Mm, that's gonna be juicy. I kind of want it. I'm more. I need that. I need that right now. I need it.
giving him the
Freaking.
full Latino Heat push.
Oh. which honestly, I can't even say about time. We've been gaining to this
It,
point. So it's like
mhm.
I not something I ever considered, but now that I've heard it, I kind of want that. I kind of want it.
I mean, I can go down the line and say like he'll probably cheat on Liv with Raquel, but that's a
Oh, oh, oh,
way later
oh,
storyline. But right now,
oh,
that's
oh,
that's where we're going.
oh man. Well, freaking, I think we got some good talk in
Oh yeah,
considering, and it's funny because I do believe, let me look at my little sheet that I had. We almost organically covered everything that I
can we
was
do
going to actually bring up. So
natural chemistry, son?
that's what I'm talking
Ah,
about. All good. But next time we do this, we're gonna go straight into wrestling and music,
yeah,
considering the fact that us both being music folk and us both being in the wrestling bit of it as well. Like, cause man, not even to go fully into it, but it's like wrestling and music have gone are wrestling and music and specifically hip hop go hand in hand much harder than I ever could have imagined. And I
mhm.
think actual mainstream wrestling in itself is, I think they've always known, but they've never locked in on it like how they've recently been really locking in on it. But
They sh-
we'll definitely get into that on our next link up. And so before we sign out, you got any shout outs, any bits you want to put out about what you got going on right now? Plug.
I mean, come see me in Minnesota, April 11th at VGM Con. I'll be performing there. Uh, I have a new song dropping with Frivolous Charlotte soon. I don't have the dates on that song yet. It's currently being mixed.
Mm, delicious.
And yeah, no, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to spark some rumors. Uh, and no, just shout out to everybody who I love. They know who they are. I don't need to be saying names. That's too long.
And of course, I do believe you are Lord Zay anywhere and everywhere. Am I correct?
Yes, Lorze. You can Google me. I said that on the podcast before. I'm Googleable.
Googleable. Listen,
I'm Googleable.
that's
You can type
that's
me in and it won't autocorrect you now. So,
it's crazy because like it still autocorrects me. Like it's all like we're pretty certain you mean swag switcher, but you don't mean swag switch by any chance?
mine was used to be like Lord Z, like some random video game character. And I was
Mm,
like, nah, now it's just me. It doesn't autocorrect you. I have a little AI bio now.
nice. Even
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh that I think I have one too.
Oh yeah,
It completely took me by surprise.
oh yeah. AI said I was mediocre one time. I was like, damn. So I was like, shout out to AI.
AI be doing the most out here.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
freaking listen, follow your boy Lord Zay. I'll throw some links down in the comment, or not in the comments, but I'm
Uh,
gonna throw some links down in the drop down just in
yeah, yeah.
case if you're too lazy to look it up yourself and
There's a link
whatnot.
tree. It takes you where you need to go.
That's better. Send me the link tree because
Yeah,
the
I
link
got
tree
you.
will covers all bases.
Yeah, you can get my
But
toy photography in there, which I need to update. But
yes, please do.
yeah,
But listen, it's been good. We chat all the time, so doing it on camera is just like, oh, now everyone gets to get clued in on what we talk about on a regular basis. Because this
basically,
is what we do and we talk about on a regular basis. The only
just a lot
difference
less
is,
profanity.
yeah, a lot less, and I'm also more often than not like dunking on him because I that's what I do.
Yeah,
It's out of
yeah,
love,
yeah. No, I
completely
know
out of
it's fine.
love.
Yeah,
You
I'm
only you
easily
only
dunkable.
we dunk on the ones we love, but no one is allowed to dunk on them.
Facts,
That's how that works.
bars.
But it's your boy Swag Switcher in the building. Big Brothers of Destruction. Lord Zay filling in for the Mazaku, and he'll be back. He's gonna be a familiar face moving forward. But until then, I do believe Masaku will be back for the Raw review. And oh, let me also put this in here. I'm sorry. I was supposed to do the SmackDown review, and I did it. And then at the very end of the review, because SmackDown is a very long show, and
3
I
hours.
started watching it at 8 o'clock. And so by the time I finished and I've had the end of my workday, in the midst of doing the interview, I was falling asleep mid sentences. And so
That don't
maybe
say how
one
old we
day,
are.
maybe one day I'll let it see the light of day. Because there was literally a point where I was like, I'm explaining like literally like the last three segments of SmackDown, and then also I'm like, I don't remember what I was saying. I lost my train of thought.
So that means that the road dog Jesse James should be better at writing. Anyways,
Oh wow, yeah, we gotta get out of here because we can't.
I got hot takes for days.
We can't be doing this right now,
Oh,
ladies
I
and
got
gentlemen,
for
and
days.
everything in between. Big Brothers of the Structures podcast signing out. We'll see y'all later.
Yeah.